Hi, everyone. Welcome to Girls in STEAM. Welcome to our special panel with STEAM educators and leaders. We're going to be starting in just a few moments. Right now, if any of you are online and would like to share in the comments where you're joining us from, my name is Brian. I'm here at Vancouver, or in Vancouver at Science World. One of our panelists noted before, I'm actually joining you from a very special part of Science World. If any of you are familiar with Vancouver, have been down to Science World in the Big Dome, I'm actually broadcasting from inside the dome. You can see a little bit of the curve of the screen around here beside me. Our theater is not currently operating, so we get to use it as a studio. So we have a number of folks joining us from across Canada today. And we're looking forward to your comments, your questions, your things you've always been curious about STEAM careers, and some amazing STEAM leaders we've got here. So again, anything you want to add over on your comment section there. Something else to be aware of if you're joining us on the YouTube channel, down at the bottom, you'll see the little CC. So if you would like closed captioning, it's an automatic closed captioning system. So it will do its best to type what we're saying. I have found in the past some of the technical words come out a little bit funny, but it does its best. Technology at its finest. We're getting close to our start time here, so we'll just give a few more moments for folks to join in. I was sharing with some of our panelists before. If you look for little Easter eggs, you may see some pets in the background here. So we're all joining from home. My own 2 cats are not with me today. At my home, which is not here at Science World, there's a total of 5 creatures who live with me. I have 2 cats. I have 2 guinea pigs. And I will leave you to make your own predictions in the chat about what you think the 5th animal might be that is in my home. All right, I think we're almost ready here. So let us meet some of our fine mentors. But first, I mentioned before, I'm joining you from Science World. And I did want to take this opportunity to gratefully acknowledge Science World is located on the traditional unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. We are very, very grateful for the opportunity to work and play on these lands. Now, today we are looking at STEAM educators and leaders, people who are making the STEAM professionals of the future. I wanted to start by introducing them. Mentors, or if you can give us maybe your name, your title, and something you love best about the job that you do. And we're going to begin with the magic technology we have here. We're going to welcome Amy. Hi, Amy. How's it going?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good
As
to
you can see, I have my little robot friend R2 here.
Yes.
Something I built with my 2 boys, who of course love Lego.
Nice.
So I am joining you actually from Burnaby, British Columbia, so not too far from Science World. And I am a part-time studies coordinator at BCIT. So BCIT is well known for its technology programs, computer programs, and a lot of hands-on learning. So it is very, very exciting to get a lot of students that are out of high school, and often a lot of them do. Local students do end up at BCIT wanting to learn a lot
What's
of.
What's the thing you love most about that job?
I actually get to teach. I teach some part-time, but I also get to mentor and provide program advising to all types of students who are coming through the digital arts and computing types of courses that are under the part-time studies. So to be able to understand their story and provide them with the best program that might suit them.
Nice. British Columbia Institute of Technology. Great to have you.
Mm-hmm.
We have Anna. Hey, Anna.
Hi, Brian. Hi, everyone. My name is Anna, and I'm located in White Rock, BC. So again, the general area. I work as a senior manager in a company called Hootsuite, which is a social media management company. So I do cool stuff like integrate with Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all of that other cool social media stuff. And what I really enjoy most is being able to build code and software that is used by people all around the world. I think it's very satisfying and exhilarating for me to do that.
That's fun. Universal stuff that from all across the planet, people are using Hootsuite. Awesome. Our third panelist is Dr. Anju. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Brian, for having me here. I'm not from BC, I'm all the way from Winnipeg, Manitoba. So
Wow.
nice to be with you guys. Yeah, so looks like I'm in BC. It's a good day to be in a BC, actually. So it's around a minus 40 in Winnipeg. Believe me, it's
Oh
literally
my goodness.
very, very cold. It's frigid cold. I just want to go to beautiful British Columbia today. Can I come? Maybe here? Take me there, please.
So tell us a bit about your role. What do you do and what do you love most about it?
Okay, so about me, as you can see, doctor. So actually, I'm doctorate in pathophysiology.
Okay.
Cardiology is my majors. Then you might be thinking, teacher, yes, I'm a STEM educator and I'm associate principal. So I wear different hats. I get to talk to wonderful kids like yourself. This is what I like most, enjoy most when I get to do experiment and when I do my research work. Then I talk to the big kids. Then we do some lab work and we
Okay.
do some cool science program there. We just blow up the science lab sometime. We do dissection labs. We kind of coding, robotics. We play with the scratch coding. We tame the robotics, so we do all kind of fun stuff in the lab too. And at the same time, we enjoy some scientific based skills, inquiry based skills. So that's what motivates me. That's what motivates me when I get to see kids like you enjoying the science.
Very cool. For all of our viewers here, if you've joined us a little bit later, please feel free any point in the comments there over on the side of YouTube. If you have any questions for any of our mentors, things you'd like to know, type them in there. I will forward them as we go along.
Mhm.
Amy, I'm curious. You mentioned part-time studies at BCIT. What does that
Yes.
mean?
So part-time studies basically means that the courses run in the evenings and the weekends,
Okay.
and it actually works for students. I say for any student who wants to go to the school, that they could still have like a daytime job or other commitments during the daytime. So it allows them to continue their education and work towards some sort of degree, like a certification or like an associate certificate, at a pace that fits their daytime job.
Very cool. Now, you all seem to work in an area where it's people wanting to get into STEM and STEAM careers, like furthering their education there. Anna, what would you say is one of the things that holds people back sometimes, or maybe people are nervous about getting into these kind of fields?
I think as people, we generally think that we overthink a lot of things. And we think that it's going to be very challenging or difficult to get into STEM. And it's a lot of math and a lot of like very, very technical detail. But
Mhm.
I think if you get over that initial hurdle and actually get into it, it's very exciting and extremely lucrative. A lot of career options once you have a strong foundation in STEM. The paths you can take are tremendous, and you can never go wrong with the career in STEM. There's so many things you can do. So I think the initial hurdle is probably the most difficult thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, Andrew, you've kind of gone from a lot of different fields in STEM. What motivated you to move from being a physician into more of the educator role?
A physician I job, I really enjoyed that when I was working with my patients, when I working with the doing the clinical trials. But when I was working in the lab, I was mentoring some summer students too when they used to come from university to
Mhm.
maybe age group like that, 14, 15, 16 years age. They wanted to learn something about the science fair or extend the science program. So I used to mentor them all the time. So my PI, my principal investigator, said, "Hey, Andrew, why don't you go for the teaching? You're so good at explaining, so good at making the things easy for them." And I was kind of enjoying with them too, because going to the kids level, going back to school, it was kind of really good experience. Like you feel really young at heart, really, really enjoy. And I really enjoyed the aha moment when they say, "Oh, wow,
Yeah.
really do it." So that wow moment really created the spark inside me, and I wanted to see that moment. Oh, and again, I told them, if I can do it, then anyone can do it. If I can go at my age, go back to school and go back to the, classes again, then why not you? Who is stopping you? What is your why are you still there? Go for that and learn it. There's the whole world is waiting for you. Why
Mhm.
wait? So that inspired me. Actually, the kids inspired me. They motivated me. They keep me on toes all the time. I must say, Some of you kids, you are teachers, and some are really headmasters, really principals there. So they
I,
teach you good things. I enjoy working with them. That motivates me.
I love that description. What is your why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Seriously,
Amy,
I just said that. What is stopping? Why? Tell me.
yeah. Amy, what do you find? What is your why? What keeps you going in these fields?
Oh my goodness, that's a big question. Well,
Sorry.
I maybe don't have, I didn't do much of a career switch, but I did start off doing, kind of multimedia types of courses. And I got into design and doing, designs on computers. And I really loved using computers ever since I was young. So I knew that I wanted to move into that field. I love art. I love crafts. I still do those things on the side. But then I found myself in teaching, and I found that it was like Dr. Andrew was saying, it's so rewarding, it's so challenging, but you are in a way giving back, perhaps to the institution, and getting students um, kind of career ready. So to me, I think that though there's a why of like, I want to do it because I enjoy helping students and I want to see them grow and get into successful careers. So I often spend some time mentoring students, outside, maybe even a little bit outside of work, but that allows me to know that they're going to be successful. I also have a connection to STEAM actually through my own kids, and I have
Okay.
two boys. And I'll just share. Some of you might be familiar with some of the STEAM programs they run at your secondary schools. So I have one son who is in grade 7 now, and in grade 8 in some of the schools in BC, they actually have STEAM programs. And I'm hoping that some of you are in those STEAM programs because you get to learn a lot of exciting things from electronics and woodworking and metalworking and coding and design. And those are all really exciting fields to kind of explore in the STEAM programs at your school. So go definitely ask about that and see if you can, sign up for some electives in some areas that you maybe wouldn't consider, but it'll open up a lot more possibilities of what you could do. And I was very fortunate when I was in school that I got a chance to do electronics and woodworking and got to learn how to make things with my hands. And ever since then, I've been really, I guess, a hands-on person, so to speak.
I
And then
love the,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
the idea of making things. It's just taking away the intimidation of, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can dive in. And
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't mean that you have to be like always with your head in the books or nose in the books. There's a lot of things that you can learn just from the experience of it, and to work in teams and to see how things work to come together, whether it's through design projects or coding projects. It's you actually end up learning a lot through teamwork.
yeah,
And my older son, he is at the tail end of his high school, and he did very, very well in his STEAM course, STEAM program in grade 8. But he has now aligned himself because he enjoyed courses such as metalworking, and there's courses on 3D rendering and 3D printers. Then now he wants to get into mechanical engineering and mecha robotics at BCIT. So it's totally possible. It just starts where you guys are in high school right now.
yeah. I think for me, one of the big discoveries was I learned so much more from getting it wrong than from getting it right. Like when I was building things and it went wrong, that's where I learned some
Mhm.
things.
That's true.
And we've heard a little bit from the others of kind of how their journey to the role they're in now. What was yours like? What were you first started to do, and how did you end up in this role?
Well, when I was young, a long time ago, like the people, like the kids listening in today, we had the first computer brought into our high school back then. And it was like a thing of novelty. And I said, instead of asking why, I said, why not? Why not? I want to know all about this. I want to learn how to use it. I want to create things. And it just became a challenge to see what else can I do? What else can I create? What programs can I write? So had that interest right from grade 12. I knew that I wanted to get into computer science, so I pursued a bachelor's and a master's in computer science. And I can honestly say that because of that education, been through many opportunities in different industries. So I've been in oil field, I've been in finance, I've been in telecom, and now I'm with social media. And I think that's the beauty about STEM and software development in general is you can apply your skills. It's always relevant. You have, and it's always changing. So you're never really out of school. The technology that we all used 2 years ago is already old and outdated. So you're constantly a student, and you got to keep up. Been in this industry for 20 years, so I can safely burn all my books from school because it's very, very old technology. But you can see that the basics and the foundation and the desire to learn always stays with you. So that's what's like really exciting, and I'm really happy with all of the options I've had because of my background in STEM.
Angie, what was surprised you most moving into education from medicine? What different about that field? Oh, sorry, Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. I was just talking. That's a new reality. Hey, you're on mute. You're on camera. So, what was the question? That what is the sorry?
Oh, I guess what was surprising? You changed fields. Is there anything like moving into the education field? What was most different for you?
Yeah, different for me. In the beginning, it was a little hard because going from adult to going to the young minds, because young minds, I find it they're more curious than adults, right? And they really they want you to think on your toes all the time. They want the answers right away, and they have lots of why questions, right? And yeah, why do this? Why do that? Sometimes, okay, you take things for granted that you know that automatically, but they're not satisfied with that. They want to know every little thing of that one. So they keep you busy, keep you engaged, which I really enjoy that. And this is how you learn and how you share with them too. And with the adults, sometimes they scare me too, right? They know a little bit too much,
Yeah.
right? They know a little bit too much. And sometimes we assume, how come you don't know that, man? You should know it already by now that you've been to school, you've been to university. So this is different. But I seriously, I saw the both words. And again, I'm an immigrant person too.
Yeah.
I'm from India as my background. So I came from different country. I studied here. I learned here. English is not my first language. I'm an immigrant woman. I learned everything here. I learned to different pathways, some good pathways. So life taught me some wonderful lessons, some good lessons, some bad lessons, which I'm not regretting. No regrets in life.
Yeah.
But finally, I'm happy where I am and enjoy whatever I do with the kids.
We've got a fun question came in from our viewers out there.
Uh-huh.
Uh, is being a leader challenging in any way? Is it challenging to keep people on task, that kind of thing?
Yes, it is challenging. First of all, you have to educate yourself and you should know what you are going to do because they look at you. I'm not going to brag about myself, but I tell you about myself. Recently, I got Prime Minister Award. I got Prime Minister National Teacher Award, like a best teacher apparently in Canada. Ha ha.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But again, then you can see as a leader too, then people say, oh, what put you in that position there? How you got in there? They see you
Yeah.
little differently, like whatever coming to your mouth become a statement now.
Right.
That whatever you're talking, so you have to be mindful what you're talking. You have to be really be careful when you're talking. That's what I find it. But again, it is a lot big responsibility. I believe in servant leadership. And again, I'm associate principal in a school too. I believe in, I'm here to serve you, I'm here to learn with you. Tell me that how can I help you. When you
Right.
take people around you, then it is helpful for them, it is helpful for you too. This is what I believe in.
Anna, I saw you smiling and nodding along with that leader challenging, keeping people on task. Tell me about it for yourself.
Yeah, I think the main thing you need to keep in mind when you're leading teams and multiple teams, it's about ensuring that everyone understands that they're an important part of the team, and we can
Right.
only succeed. We're only as strong as the weakest link. So everyone needs to understand what the purpose and the vision is, and then keeping them on task will happen naturally. So I think once people understand where they fit in the big picture, and we as leaders have that responsibility to share the vision and make it very clear to them, then all of the details around how to execute and meet that becomes very organic, and it will just happen naturally. So the challenge is really in ensuring people understand why they're here, what the purpose is of doing a certain project, and then it becomes easy. And what's also interesting is people constantly teach you.
Mhm.
So just when I feel I figured it all out and have a wonderful day, the next day I'm brought back down to earth to because I've encountered another situation which I have not in the last few, several years. So you're constantly learning and constantly changing yourself, because that's the only thing you can do as a leader is you have to change yourself. You have the ability to adapt and be flexible, because you cannot change others. You can only change yourself. And hopefully that will inspire others to also change and follow. Yeah.
Amy, how is it for you when you're leading or helping keep people on task?
Yeah, I have, because I'm as PTS coordinator, there's probably about 30 instructors that I help
Right.
oversee. Although I don't get to see all of them because oftentimes they might be teaching in the evenings or even teaching online. I think it's really important to kind of keep in contact with them and let them know, the goals of our department and the goals of the term, and to, ensure that a certain level of excellence and program goals are met every time that they teach in the class, because they are representing the reputation of BCIT. We also are really proud of our instructors because a lot of them do teach in industry, so they are bringing in their expertise into the classroom and sharing that expertise with all the students. And I just wanted to sort of add that even though we have a lot of technology programs at BCIT, there's still a lot of women in our programs, and we really try to encourage women to join the programs that may be more male dominated. And I want to sort of say, like, don't be afraid. Like, don't be
Yeah.
afraid if you think that you're going into an industry that's just all boys in there. It's that you can still achieve, and do well, and you can tread your own path, and you can shine your own light ahead. I myself, in a field of teaching coding at the beginning, I was one of the very few sort of Asian women who were able to do that. So, um, you know, I was always kind of going against the grain, and there's a lot of uh, maybe not a lot of Asian representation in the teaching areas and programs that I was involved in. So I just kept on going. I just kept on doing what I enjoyed, and I enjoyed teaching design and coding courses and web development and theory courses to post secondary students. And it wasn't that I was intimidated. It was more that I would just learn to get along and learn what was involved with, in a way, just try to, I don't want to say fit in, but just more like find my place in there,
Yeah.
and to find my own voice, because you don't always know. And I think the more that you get new opportunities to meet new people or to try out new things, you do that, and then you will kind of find the areas that you really enjoy, or you might even excel in. I think that's the thing. You spend a lot of your early years just exploring
Yeah.
and learning about yourself.
Yeah. I had no idea what I wanted to be. I still have very little idea. Annie, I think we've got a question for you here. What advice would you give to someone who is stuck between choosing medicine and teaching? They're kind of on a crossroads now.
Okay, so question for me, I will say go with your heart. Yeah, whatever your heart aligned it, if you're stuck in wherever you're most inclined towards it. If you think that you're going to enjoy with the little kids all the time, then go for that. This is fine where I find the beauty, where I find the joy, when I see the aha moments, see the wow moments in the kids. I enjoyed that. But I must say, I enjoyed my medical profession at the background too when I was working. Only that part little bit hurting me because it was on call all the time. That I was 24/7. I have to be available just in case there is a ICU, there's an emergency. I have to run back and forth. Then I had a young kids at the time. Only that part was little troublesome. But when I was doing the in my cardiology field, I was doing the heart transplant, so doing some neat surgeries. and I was going back to humanities, serving the humans there. So it was kind of satisfaction too. Only that part was missing, the timing. And at
Right.
that time, my kids were so young, they needed me that time. So I was all by myself. I needed help. So that was my life choice.
Yeah.
And so this is why I'm here. I will say, wherever your heart takes you, listen to that.
It's interesting. There's a follow-up question here. What if you like both? What if you love both? I think
Ah,
it's
yeah, that's a good one. I like both too. That's the
yeah.
thing. This is what I do. I like both. So I put in my teaching, I revamped the whole curriculum. It's all hands-on activity now. So
Mhm.
now my grade 4 and grade 5 student, they can do dissection labs. So I bring the material like a heart dissection, then they can do sheep brain dissection, they do plugs dissection, eye dissection. So this is how I satisfy my inner soul. Then okay, I'm still doing some kind of fiddling and playing with my
Yeah.
scalpel and this one, and I'm still teaching them hardcore science. And I just put purposefully, instead of saying hard, I say okay, cardiac or hypertrophy or arrhythmia, like these kind of words, sciencey words,
Yeah.
just to satisfy myself and satisfy them. And directly or indirectly, they're learning the vocabulary.
Yeah.
This is what I like. This is how I'm satisfying myself. And I'm teaching some university courses too. And again, if you like the same way, maybe you can talk to the university people, then they can maybe give you some sessional courses, you can teach them. Yeah, that's the best bet you would be doing.
Anna, what skills do you find you use most in your job now? What are the most important skills?
The skills, there's two types. So technically, what do
Mhm.
you need to be able to accomplish your task and deliver? So that again is very academic based. So you learn different programming languages and you deliver on that. But besides that, I think technical skills can be learned quite easily. But what needs to be developed and needs to be very conscious of is all of the soft skills.
Mhm.
So listening to your customer, what do they want? I mean, for example, Instagram, the DMs, how do they want the messages to look? How many likes do you have? How many subscribers do you have for your account? So again, visualizing all of this content as an end user, as a customer, I think you're wearing a number of hats. So even though
Yes.
it looks like coders, we are always sitting behind a computer and like typing away very cryptic stuff. You're actually thinking a lot about the business use case and who's going to use your software. How fast is it? Are they, you don't want to go to Netflix and wait for like 5 minutes before your movie loads. Like you want it to be really really quick. So you have to have all of these types of things in mind when you develop anything. So it's really besides the technical skills, there's a lot looking at it from an end user customer perspective. That skill set is also very important.
Nice. Thank you, everyone who's been putting their questions in the chat. Please feel free to add any more in there in the comments as we go along. I have a
Um,
little secret cheat sheet of questions as well. Sorry, someone, Amy, go
Brian,
ahead.
I was going to add on to the question from the chat, because I do have a bit more of a background in terms of the teaching. If you want to get into teaching, there's actually a few paths, especially from what I understand in BC. So if you want to get into teaching elementary or secondary, you do have to have I think a bachelor's of education. You actually have to go through completing that. But in the area that I'm in, I teach in post-secondary. So anything that's, we have our schools that are not offering a degree program, or doing adult continuing studies, you can actually do a provincial instructor diploma program.
Okay.
And it's just a handful of courses, maybe taking about a year to do part-time. But what that allows you to do is if you have an area that you know a lot, we call a subject matter expert. For me, it was in multimedia and design. So that was my expertise before I got into teaching. And then I did the instructor program so that I could learn how to become a teacher and to learn the pedagogies and the approaches to good teaching in the classroom. And then from there, I was able to work at a lot of different programs in a lot of schools in the Lower Mainland. And it's interesting, once you apply and get in, I mean, they are looking to make sure that you have a bachelor's degree. That's one of the key
Right.
things. And they want to know that you have some teaching experience or that teaching degree. And then the great thing is then you're able to work at a lot of different schools. So you won't often just stay and work at one school for like the rest of your life. It might be that you're jumping around, and you might end up leaving school for a little bit to do some industry work, and then you return back. Or you might do what a lot of my instructors do, which is they hold industry jobs and then they teach on the evenings and weekends.
Right.
So it is possible, to kind of answer the question in the chat, you could actually do both. You could have like a daytime job in one area, and then you could actually be teaching it at night. So I think that's the wonder of it, is that even as a teacher, and I've taught a lot of different subjects. I've taught like Photoshop, Illustrator, UI UX courses, portfolio courses. It's always interesting, like for me, the challenge is to teach different courses. And then to apply it, a student might say, I need to apply it to this area, like I want to go into mining or something. How do I
Yeah.
adjust this portfolio so that I can do work in the mining industry after? So it is then how you frame their learning and ask them to frame their portfolio designs in such a way that they can get work in the field that they want. Because design and coding, and it works with any industry, right? It can apply to so many different fields and jobs out there. So it's a good foundation to have. Again, if you are interested in teaching, there's certain pathways that you would want to take.
I think there's a lot of pressure when you're in high school that this is going to be the career I'm going to pick for the rest of my life. This is the next 60 years that I've got. And so, yeah, being able to recognize that the skills you gain can shift in a lot of different areas. Oh my goodness, some other wonderful questions there. I like this one. What if something fails? What are your disaster recovery methods? And I guess maybe more from a teaching standpoint. If something, I planned it this way and everything has gone completely off the rails. Uh, Anyone have a thought on that one? Anna, I'm going to throw to you.
Sure. I think failure is inevitable, and you shouldn't be afraid of it. I think you should plan for the worst case scenario and hope for the best. So always have a plan A and B, and you may have to wing a plan C, maybe, but don't be afraid of it, because I think sometimes, no matter how well you're prepared, the situation could change, and all your planning, it won't necessarily work out the way that you want. But having considered all of the risks, having considered some backups will always help you be more nimble, and you just learn from previous failures. So to me, failure is an important aspect of growing and learning, and you should really embrace it, because any successful person you see never got there just by doing the right things all the time. They did a lot of things that they weren't good at, and they learned from it, and they just got stronger and stronger and got there. So I would say, just have good plans, have good backups, even if it's as simple as you have a meeting and you need to present to someone. Have a copy on your Google Drive, have a copy on a USB stick, have a copy on your hard drive of your computer. And if all of that goes, have a paper copy and improvise. Use your
Yeah.
speaking skills. So having some of these techniques will definitely help you, and build your confidence as well. So never be afraid of failure. Failure will happen to all of us. We need to embrace it and learn from it, and not repeat the same mistakes.
I'm going to paraphrase this question, but if you want to be a leader in life, what are some things you should maybe do or practice to prepare for that? Are there skills to prepare to be a leader? And you, any thoughts there? Okay, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. Happy to hop to someone else.
Who are you putting? Are you putting me on a spot here? Who?
Yeah, and
Or
you,
Amy?
yeah. Any thoughts on things you should practice to be a leader?
There's no recipe for that, I would say that to be a leader, it all comes with the practice.
Yeah.
And again, as Anna was saying, don't be scared. Don't be afraid to take challenges. Take it like opportunities to learn and grow in a life. This is what I say. And do your homework when you're going places, what you're going
Yeah.
to, who are your audience, where are you going to be. If you're well prepared, then you should be fine. And again, never forget, impossible word itself says I am possible,
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
right? So this means you can do it. I am possible. So nothing is impossible. This is what I believe in.
Amy?
That's good. I really like that. I was also going to add that just on the flip side, of failures, there's also, the opportunities to try to grasp any opportunities that sort of come your way. So even it's for me, it's like when I was starting off in graphic design, I sort of take on little projects, even small ones. It's like, oh, design a business card or design a brochure. Learn to even just design my very first website. I wasn't totally knowing what the process was like, but every time I went through that, then I would learn what the client would want and how that process would go, and it would build up more confidence. And the thing is, you just have to take that first step. You just need to move in that direction that you're interested in, and not be afraid of failure, because yes, there might be times that you get difficult people that you deal with, and you have to learn how to adjust to that. Or even there are really bad situations where it's like you find yourself in a project that you just can't do, and you
Yeah.
have to sort of abandon ship, and you have to also know when that is the best decision to make. So I think the whole idea of certainly preparing for failure, certainly knowing that something may not work perfectly, but also just preparing for the best and doing everything that you can to organize that project and to communicate with everybody, what needs to be done to ensure that that project doesn't fail, right? So that's another way, is that just as a leader, there's a tremendous amount of um, organization, team organization, constant communication, setting up platforms where you're organizing everyone's tasks and
Yeah.
milestones that they need to achieve, and just touching base with everyone on a regular basis so that that they're meeting those expectations.
Anna?
Yeah, and just to add to what are some of the things you can do to practice, I think first, if you recognize that you have a few leadership traits, I think it's very important to identify what you're good at and what are your strengths.
Yeah.
So I would say, keep a log of what you're really good at, and not always, and as natural tendency, we try to only look at things we're not that good at, but it's very very important to also build and get stronger at what we're good at. So as a leader, and as human beings, we're all good at certain things. So always, document that and strengthen that, and find a mentor, find someone who can help you and guide you, um, to deal with certain situations. So I would say, that's probably something I wish I had when I was very young, is, someone that I could talk to and bounce ideas off of. Or if I was in a situation that I needed to be a leader of a project, but I couldn't, quite get the team to do what they wanted, what are some of the strategies I can apply? And, talking to someone will always, help you also practice some of these things.
Thank you. I apologize. I don't think we're going to get to all of these questions we have here, but I had one last one for all of you before we wrap up. A lot of our audience are people in sort of the 14 to 16-year-old age range. Picture yourself when you were 14 to 16. What advice would you give that human right now? Andrew, do you want to start with us?
Me, when I was 14, 16, I will say keep doing the work that you were doing that time.
Mhm.
At that time, I used to read lots of encyclopedias actually.
Wonderful.
I I know, sound weird, but that time there was no Google. I'm older than Google. I tell my kids too.
Me too.
Yeah, older than Google, so no phones, not much phones. I used to go library and I used to do things, and I still like to go at that age where I used to enjoy my books, my reading corner, studying in the cozy corner, just be myself for hours and hours, read and study and asking question to my dad, why it is this, why do we this,
Yep.
and I still have that kind of curiosity. I like that way and keep asking. Stay curious all the time. Wherever you find it, just ask yourself first. Sometimes I say ask three before me. Yeah. So again, if you're asking three more, this means you're educating three more people. and maybe you get answer, or maybe you get the different answers from them, and you will learn even more. Then I asked the kids, ask three before me. So three, me. So this means you already got the four options for your answers. So this means you're empowering them and empowering yourself, helping them and helping yourself. This is
Wonderful.
what I would say.
Amy, what would you tell 14-year-old Amy?
I would say to read, not to say read, but to do more things. So it might involve asking my parents to take me to maybe more museums or more interesting places that I would normally not want to go and explore. I think that the more that I see, the more experience, the more that you get kind of understand what area you might want to get into, or just kind of what your interests are. I was really fortunate that I got taken on some educational trips when I was younger. For one of them would be like going to a paleontology museum, or going to go see, the Grand Canyon, or going to a science, an aerospace museum. So you get to learn about different things that are in and around that you may not sort of normally get to see. So I think it's just I would try as many things as I could, and read up on a lot of things. And now that we have the internet, it's everything's at your fingertips. So I actually enjoy watching a lot of TED Talks, and
Yeah.
they're so inspiring. So you get to learn about different people's insights and how they got to that point in their lives, or they have their aha moment. And so just be inspired, stay curious, as Dr. Anju said. It's like and learn as much as you can, because you have a lot of time now being a high schooler, way more time than you will have when you're older. So make use of all that downtime to just keep learning and build up new skills, pick up new hobbies, learn more another language, learn more instruments, because this is the best time, in a way, sometimes your best time of your life, where you don't have a lot of stresses except for just figuring out what your career is.
Nice. Anna, your advice for Anna?
Yeah, I would tell my 14-year-old self to just calm down and relax a little bit. I think it's that age where you're trying to make a lot of life decisions, and you don't have all the information you need to commit to a certain career path, or there's a lot of competition, and you want to get all those straight A's, and you want to get into the best school, and you have to write your SATs and this and that. So I would just say, enjoy the moment, do what brings you joy, and just be a good person, and the rest will follow.
Wonderful words to end with. For all of you joining us, thank you again for your wonderful questions coming through. If you'd like to see any of the other sessions that you might have missed from the Girls in STEAM site, you can go to any of the links there. All those recordings will be up on YouTube. For us today on Tuesday, we're just wrapping up our 5 p.m. sessions, and our 6 p.m. ones will be starting in about 15 minutes. During that time, feel free to go in the Girls in STEAM platform. You can check out some of the exhibitor booths. You can see some of the amazing STEAM careers that are available out there in the industry right now. Right now, wanted to thank again all three of our amazing panelists. Thank you for sharing your opportunities, your experiences. I think there's some wonderful words of wisdom. We'll see you again, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for having
you.
us. Thank